I had been planning the perfect proposal for months. I imagined the moment in meticulous detail. The restaurant, the lighting, the ring, her smile when I got down on one knee. Everything was supposed to be perfect, a memory we'd cherish forever. I thought I knew my girlfriend inside and out. I trusted her completely. I loved her with a kind of certainty that made every day brighter. Or at least, I thought I did. The night before the proposal, I was at her apartment helping her with some small chores. She was in the kitchen humming softly while I tidied up. I picked up my phone to check a notification and noticed hers was buzzing on the counter. A quick glance revealed a name I didn't recognize. Before I could think better of it, I overheard the call as she answered it, speaking in a hushed, urgent tone. The words I heard shattered the world I thought I knew. She was talking to someone else, someone she clearly had feelings for. Her voice was different on that call, softer, more intimate, yet tinged with guilt. I froze, my heart hammering, as she laughed and spoke words of affection I had never heard directed at me. There was a familiarity, a closeness in her tone that had no place in our relationship. I stepped back silently, not wanting to alert her that I had overheard. My mind raced. Could I have misunderstood? Was this just a friend? Someone she was comforting? But the details, the pet names, the plans to meet secretly, the way she mentioned our upcoming engagement casually as if it were a minor obstacle, made the truth impossible to ignore. She was cheating. She had been planning something behind my back while I was preparing to give her the most significant symbol of commitment I could imagine. I left quietly, my stomach twisting, my mind spinning. The perfect proposal, the dreams I had spent months crafting, suddenly felt like a cruel joke. How could I stand there tomorrow on one knee, professing my love, when I now knew she had been unfaithful? The trust I had assumed was unshakable was gone in an instant. The next day, I went through a storm of emotions. Anger, disbelief, heartbreak, and a strange clarity. I realized that I couldn't continue as if nothing had happened. This revelation altered everything. I spent the morning gathering my thoughts, pacing the apartment, replaying her words over and over, trying to process the betrayal. Every sentence she had said on that call carved a new understanding into my mind. She had been hiding a life, an emotional investment that was not mine. When she finally emerged, dressed and radiant for what she thought would be a celebratory evening, I faced her with calm, deliberate composure. I didn't accuse immediately, didn't yell or demand explanations. I let the weight of my silence speak first. She noticed it instantly. "Is everything okay?" she asked, her smile faltering. I shook my head slowly. "I heard your call last night," I said quietly, letting the words sink in. The color drained from her face almost immediately. Her eyes widened in panic, realizing that the secret she had carefully guarded was exposed. There was a long, tense silence. She tried to speak, to explain, to soften the blow, but every word faltered under the reality she now faced. I listened, but my mind had already processed everything. The careful planning, the emotional investment I had put into the proposal, the trust I had extended without question, all of it had been met with betrayal. I told her I couldn't go through with the proposal, that this relationship, built on lies and deception, couldn't be elevated with a ring or a ceremony. I walked away from the apartment that night, leaving the engagement ring behind, along with the illusions I had held about our future. In the following days, I began to untangle the truth from the lies. I confirmed details, observed patterns, and faced the painful reality that the woman I loved had chosen secrecy over honesty, another over me. It was heartbreaking, humiliating, and yet oddly liberating. I realized that the most important thing I could do was reclaim my dignity, not beg for explanations or salvage what was already broken. Friends and family were shocked when I shared what had happened. Many couldn't believe she had been two-faced while I was preparing one of the most significant moments of my life. But as painful as it was to recount, I felt a sense of empowerment. The betrayal had revealed her true character and, more importantly, allowed me to step back and make a choice. Either continue in a relationship built on lies or walk away with my integrity intact. I chose the latter. I moved out, focused on my own healing, and gradually rebuilt a life that was no longer overshadowed by deception. The heartbreak remained, of course. It always does after such betrayal. But it was tempered by the clarity I had gained. I understood that the best gift I could give myself was to refuse to allow someone else's dishonesty to define my happiness. Looking back, I realized the significance of that overheard phone call. It didn't just reveal her infidelity, it changed my entire trajectory. It prevented me from making the biggest mistake of my life, from pledging myself to someone who had already divided their heart. It forced me to face reality when my emotions would have preferred ignorance. And in that forced clarity, I found the strength to move forward on my own terms. Sometimes the most painful moments in life are also the most transformative. That night before the proposal, I lost the version of my life I had imagined. But I gained the truth, the clarity, and the courage to never settle for anything less than honesty and respect.